All right, what's up, everyone? So let's talk about a topic you probably see on your GED study list, and you're just like, civics. I get it, but trust me, this is way different. We're talking about voting, and it is a legit GED goldmine you are probably ignoring.
Yep, you heard me. I want you to burn this into your brain, okay? Voting isn't just a right, it's a GED goldmine. And you're probably asking, why? Well, it's because all the ideas around voting, they're scattered all over the social studies test. These are easy points, just waiting for you to grab them, but you gotta know what to look for.
And listen, we're not going to drag this out. We are going to break down everything you need to know in under 2 minutes flat. You ready? Let's dive in.
So when it comes to the GED, voting shows up in 3 main ways. First, you've got your rights, super important. Second, it's about your participation, as a citizen. And third, it's the nitty-gritty of how elections actually work. We're going to cover all 3 nice and quick.
All right, Section 1, your voting rights. Honestly, this is the big one. For some reason, the GED test just loves to ask about the key amendments, the ones that opened up the doors and expanded who could actually go and vote. Okay, here's what you need to lock in. It's all about 3 major amendments. Super simple. The 15th Amendment, that said you can't be turned away because of your race. The 19th, that gave women the right to vote. And the 26th, that lowered the voting age down to 18. So just think, race, gender, age. You got it? Awesome.
Okay, next up, let's talk about your participation. Because look, the GED doesn't just care if you know who can vote. It wants to know if you understand how your vote actually makes a difference and influences the government. It really is all about the power of just showing up.
And check this out. Here's a crazy fact that you might see pop up on the test in one way or another. In some big elections, the turnout is less than 50%. I mean, think about that for a second. That means more than half the country is just sitting it out, letting other people decide for them.
And here's a visual of what that can look like. Seriously, the GED might throw a chart just like this one at you and ask what it means. And the takeaway is really simple. When a giant chunk of the population doesn't vote, well, the final results might not actually show what the whole country wanted. Getting that connection, that's a huge theme. All right, on to our last section, number 3, the elections. This is where we get into the real nuts and bolts. How does someone actually go from just being a candidate to becoming an elected leader? So here are the key ideas you got to know. First, you need to know the difference between primaries, that's where a party picks its main candidate, its champion, and the general election, where those champions go head-to-head. Then there's the Electoral College. That's the whole system we use for presidential elections. And last, and this is super important, you have to know about things that can limit voting, like really complicated registration rules or needing specific kinds of ID.
Okay, so how does all this stuff actually look on the real test? Let's stop with the theory for a second and check out a real GED-style question. This is how you turn what you just learned into actual points.
You could totally see a question just like this one. Super direct. Which amendment gave women the right to vote? Come on, you know this. We literally just covered it. What's the answer?
Boom! The 19th? See? That is a point in the bag. You didn't have to read some long, complicated passage. You just had to know that one key fact. Easy.
Or the test could get a little more tricky. It might give you a short reading about, say, a new voter ID law, and then ask you to think about its impact. To get the point, you'd have to think critically. One side might say the law is good because it stops fraud. The other side might say it's bad because it makes it harder for some people to vote. The GED just wants to see that you can understand both sides of an argument like that.
Okay, now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. We saw how low the turnout can be. So, what's one reason you think so many people decide to stay home on Election Day? Go ahead and drop your ideas in the comments below. I'm really curious to see what you all think.
So let's wrap this up. Just remember, getting this stuff isn't only about passing a test. It's about understanding the power you have. Your voice really does matter, both when you're casting a vote and when you're taking your GED.
And that's it. That's the breakdown. Hey, if voting just started to make a whole lot more sense, do me a favor and hit that like button. You totally got this. Now go out there and mine those GED points.